Okay. Sorry about that. Got to take closed captions off. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this demonstration, I'm going to be painting or print, I'm going to call it print painting on black. I'm going to use a black canvas. This painting is going to be a little bit more involved. I'm going to use the gel plate. And so a little bit of planning, I feel, is required when going to a canvas, which for some reason feels more serious. If I want to do a little bit of practice, I could use some mixed media paper and do some tests. I'm just going to dive right into the black canvas on canvas board. So my planning, some considerations are composition, thinking ahead of time. What kind of composition do I want? And I could compose by shape, line, or some sort of gestural movement. And then my color palette. So what I did was I went to my color dictionary, and I'm intrigued. I want to explore this yellow ochre and light phthalo green. So that's what I'm going to be using today. I'm going to put my black canvas off to the side, and I'm going to do probably a little bit of color mixing and over here and on the Gelli plate, and using different tools and techniques. And here I go. Okay, so this is a light phthalo green. Yellow ochre. So not only do I have to think a little bit about the composition and the color, but I have to remember to leave some gaps, not fill in the whole gel plate. I want to leave some gaps so that I'll see the black of the canvas showing through. So was thinking I might go with that vertical composition. And I'm operating intuitively here. I wasn't going to use the brayer, but here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go vertical. I'm going to curve it a little bit. So it's line and gesture. Okay, so curve. And of course, I just remembered, oh, it's a warm day. So that's probably going to be, that paint is probably going to dry a little too quickly. So now I'm going to come back and put it on thicker. I need the paint to be thick enough that it'll transfer to the canvas. As a matter of fact, I'm going to print that right now. And luckily, my canvas is pretty much the same size as my gel plate. I'm going to push down. Okay, and you might say, well, what's the point? Why don't I just paint directly on there? So what happens is some of the paint will smear or spread. It's just a different look. And I can leave these texture marks if I want. When that dries, I could do some dry brushing. I'm going to leave half like that, and some of the other, I'm going to smooth it out. So it's going to be kind of back and forth between the gel plate and the painting. Okay, so I've got a good gesture going there. Now I'm going to add some other marks. And I haven't used any water yet. Okay, so I'm going to continue with that same gesture movement. I'm going to overlap. I can even mix directly on my plate like we've been doing. Do some blending right there. So I'm putting down lines, and I'm holding my brush kind of at a low 45-degree angle so the paint slides off. Okay. I'm going to print again. Pressing down firmly. Oh, and what I did quite accidentally is I think I flipped my canvas. I accidentally flipped it, but you can do that intentionally. So that's kind of cool. A little bit of a, you could call it a mistake, or as Bob Ross would say, the happy accident. So again, I can smear some of this around. What I like is I get the texture of the paintbrush in here showing through. Okay, so now that I've changed it, I'm going to respond to this. I feel like something needs to go over here, maybe as a focal point. So making quick, kind of intuitive decisions. Now I'm going to mix these two colors because I know I'm going to get kind of a celadon color, which I really like. So a mid-tone. And I'm going to use this really ratty house paint brush. I love these because you get this sort of ragged mark. Okay, hopefully that'll transfer. Now I'm all mixed up. Which way's up and which way's down? Okay, so that's what it looks like now. Kind of has a plant-like feeling. Okay, I could keep going, or I feel like I've got enough of a structure here that now I'm going to start painting, doing some other stuff on here directly. I'm going to move this off to the side. Don't throw this away. I'm going to let this dry. And then later I can roll another color on here and pull a print from that. So I'm going to get several things from this process, which I like. I like projects that have, you get multiple versions. Okay, so now I'm going to do some more layering so I can play with, this is more impasto, opaque, thicker paint. So things in threes. I've got 3 colors mixed from these 2 colors. And then instinct says, I need to start bringing in some other colors. The feeling is maybe a red. It's often red for me. Okay. Remember to put your brushes in a bucket of water. It is warm today. Okay, so I want to build on this more, and I'm going to do blot printing, which is, it's really my tribute to Andy Warhol. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. I'm going to use this plastic Ziploc bag. I haven't done this before, and I think this will be something that would be really fun to incorporate into your painting practice. Now, the reason for using a plastic bag is I'm going to put some paint on here, and then I can move it around and go, maybe it's going to go right there, and I can print it directly on the canvas. So let me just cut up this Ziploc bag. You can use saran wrap too. I like this a little bit better because it's feels sturdier. You know what saran wrap's like. It starts sticking to itself and then it's just aggravating. Okay, so here comes red, and I'm going to make some little dots, and it's looking kind of plant-like. So I'm going to go with this dot look and do some blot printing on there. going to use a small round brush to make these dots. Still haven't used any water. I'm going thick globs of paint. Okay, so now I flip this over. And I can see right through there and go, would it be good there? Would it be good here? Where are the different places I might want to put those dots? And then I just push down lightly, and I've transferred my paint onto my painting. Going to do, usually I can get several stamp prints out of one go. Okay, it's going to get lighter, but I kind of like that. If I want it a little bit lighter, I can have some come off the page so they're not all looking the same. I'm going to incorporate a little bit of orange, and I'll try and put some different marks on there just to change it up.
Laura, it's Peggy.
Yeah, could you wait for questions till the end so I get a clean recording? Thank you. Okay, so I did some texturing here with this palette knife that has teeth on it. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here. Same thing, stamping there. Okay. So I'm building in more colors. Now I'm going to go to another different technique of blot printing that some of you have seen before. And if you don't have these, that's okay. These are these Sennelier liners. For some people, they're hard to use, like if you have arthritis. So you can skip it if it's hard for you. But anyway, I'm going to scribble some paint on here. You can also use, they have fabric scribblers that the paint squeezes out. It's easier to squeeze out. Okay, so I'm scribbling all over here, something of a finer line. Then I'm going to take my sheet of deli paper, put that on top, again, lightly blot, and the lines will spread a little bit. So you have a precise line, yet at the same time, there's something unique about it. It spreads a little bit. Okay, if those liners are hard for you, you can get Liquitex gouache in a squeeze bottle. It's going to come out a little bit thicker. Okay, this is a neon. Yeah, see there, it came out probably bigger than I want. This is a neon pink. Hardly squeezing at all. So this probably works a little bit better. Okay, same thing. I'm going to go over, and I can get a new sheet. Actually, I will. I'm going to get a new sheet of deli paper. I'm going to go kind of just lightly tapping. Now, another thing you can do, besides, if you get enough going on in here, besides saving these papers, if there's enough paint, again, there's extra paint on there, I can blot a little bit more. Okay, and so that's, you know, there's more that I could do, but that's a pretty good structure I've got going. I can come in and add finer details later, or I could put a wash on here if I want. But I think you get the general idea. The main thing is to pick your colors, maybe ahead of time. Be sure, and composition, be sure to leave spaces for the black to show. All right.